Let me start with a question first to the audience. Who of you has heard about App Store optimization or is actually applying it to its marketing play for games? Oh, quite a few, that's good. Basically, what we're all familiar with are the stages in creating a game or building an application, going through the initial phase, getting the idea done into development, later on promoting the game, doing user acquisition for an application, analyzing it, and so on and so forth. App Store optimization is a little tiny puzzle piece within the user acquisition tactics. And my talk today should give you a little bit of an insight what can be done and how it can bring value to your overall marketing tactics. A few words about myself. Together with 3 partners, we run a consulting company helping developers, brands, and companies with their mobile services and applications. So we sit down initially, usually figuring out what kind of idea, content, service you want to mobilize, what kind of goals you want to achieve, what technology should be involved, and break it down into a business plan and a product concept. Later on, we take that concept and take the lead during the development phase, getting the product out of the gate. Then, next stage, usually everything dedicated to user acquisition, marketing, localization, as I said, mobile SEO, and App Store optimization is a vital part of it. And last but not least, and maybe most important, sitting down, getting our hands and brains on the data, trying to figure out who's the user, what does he like, what does he not like, take it and bring it back to the product in order to make it better. We work pretty agnostic and across various categories of applications and mobile services. So we like to work really on site and hands-on with the developers, always related to a very unique kind of special problem or solution he's looking for to be solved. Due to the fact that we have insights in, I think, around about 60 apps at the moment, we can apply certain best practices and benchmarks across the board. What we've heard already today a couple of times is how fierce the competition in the App Store ecosystem. There is 1.2 million applications live at the moment. Everyone's trying, to make a stand, to achieve top ranks, to be featured, to get enough visibility to build a sustainable business for its own app. App Store optimization can help to find that specific edge over competition once in a while, to increase your exposure, to get better visibility, and after all, increase your install base and user base. On the other hand, App Store optimization can contribute also in optimizing your marketing budget. As we know, acquisition costs are constantly rising. You want to work on getting the best bang for the buck when buying traffic in order to promote your application and game. App Store optimization also takes a look on the conversion rate of taking this traffic and funneling, converting it into actual downloads without losing anything in between. In general, well, my experience with App Store optimization leads back to the days when we were distributing, or I was distributing my own app in roughly 10 stores or so, and I was asking myself, what kind of impact does it actually have to change certain keywords, to come up with variation of screenshots within each particular store. So I started, talking to other developers, trying to write down and analyze my own observations and findings, and ended up with comparing it always to a situation similar to the supermarket, right? After building a great game, assembling a good team, obviously, and trying to promote it, you want to make sure that you stand out in the supermarket aisle, in the shelf, in order to convince the user or the potential player before he actually starts playing that your game, that your application is the one he should reach out for and actually download it. So App Store optimization is a part of a marketing play where you consider the App Store as the first touch point towards a potential customer prior to the actual download. And it will actually help you achieving certain goals. First, obviously, you want to make sure that people find your application. I've seen it a lot, actually recently, when one of the advertisers was promoting an application on the telly, running a TV campaign for it, using certain claims and actually abbreviations for its original game title. I went into the store, looked it up, and couldn't find the app at all. So what do you want to make sure first that your app, your brand's name, the kind of testimonials or characters you use in your game are contributing to the visibility in the store to make people make sure people find your game. In terms of competition, App Store optimization can help you to rank higher than other applications in your particular category around a certain keyword or set of keywords. You can achieve that with applying App Store optimization. If you're familiar with online search engine optimization, SEO, then you obviously heard the term SERP, Search Engine Result Page. It's basically the result users get when looking up certain things on the Google web search. What App Store optimization can help you with is, in the best case scenario, someone's looking up a particular search query related to your game, let's say trivia app, and the first result might be your website, promoting the application there. The second result might be your Google Play Store page. And the third one, in the best case scenario, might be the one in the Apple App Store, the respective iTunes.com/whatever is the app name page. So in order to achieve such results, you should take care and have a closer look initially when launching an app or updating your app in the next upcoming development cycles, that you have those bases covered. On top of it, as I said before, when promoting your application, maybe through user acquisition based on paid promotions, ad networks, banners, SMS campaigns, TV, offline, online, you want to make sure that this traffic, without any friction, seamlessly goes into the store and then converts into an actual install. Those are the things you can achieve with applying App Store optimization tactics. And what we've seen, also this is a rough ballpark number, when you take your average install rate on a daily or weekly or monthly base and apply a certain set of things I will talk about, what you can see and achieve is around about 20% uplift in your organic install rate. There are certain cases where it worked even better than that, but this is what we've seen across categories taking place and happening when applying it in a straightforward approach. How to do it? Well, you should take care of your metadata. Metadata are the things in the store a developer can work with in order to promote its game, to describe its game, to, as I said before, like the supermarket, to put its game in the shelf the best possible way to achieve installed sales or downloads. And what you can work with are those touch points, giving you the opportunity to optimize, tweak, and adjust according to your goals. Since we have limited time today, I won't be able to cover all of them, but those who are highlighted I wanted to talk about specifically. There's a whole range of things which contribute at the end of the day towards your App Store appearance, and the ones I want to talk about are icon, screenshot, keywords, and later on applying certain keywords in your app title. We've seen already today some great icons and some, one of you got inspiration from them. Icon design as well as screenshot design relates to something people in the neuroscience business call salience. Salience is basically a state or the quality of a certain item by which it stands out over its neighbor or its related contextual other items around it. So icon design is extremely important to achieve good performance in the stores. Usually, you know, you put your blood, sweat, and tears into a great game design. Then you don't want to fall short when it comes to the first initial touch point every user actually has with your game, which is normally the icon. Whenever you promote your app, you probably utilize the icon as one of the major anchors in this promotional campaign, so you want to make sure the design of it actually is as picture perfect as your actual game design. So either you apply very detailed kind of, you know, design approaches, or you use effects. If you run a portfolio of applications, you can use that in order to, you know, signal a certain level of quality. You have to make sure that this is a process aligned to your development as well. Obviously, the big ones have understood and are using this. The red bird, always a, you know, seal of quality, showing there's gameplay in it, there's Angry Birds in it, became already a kind of a trademark itself. And obviously, they're using it in the icons. Constant, you know, iterations of icons taking place with the bigger studios. Here's a good example I found recently from Chilingo and EA. It's not a kids game per se, but they applied a certain process we actually use as well for our clients. So basically what you do, and it's straightforward and simple by the end of the day, you sit down with your design team, you give them a briefing about what's your expectation, what the audience will be like, and they come back usually with a kind of, you know, drafts and iterations of certain icon designs. Here in that case, they came back with 9 ones. And then you start trying to run split tests, you know, where you basically set up a certain set of mobile banners, same background color, same size and format, same call to action. The only difference in those banners are the actual design drafts. And then you start running a mobile campaign, just, you know, throwing out those banners and getting a data point for discussion based on the clicks each one actually generates. So you become more sure about the impact of the icon before actually launching the game or getting it live by using and applying a certain process of beta testing. That applies to screenshot design too. Obviously, the first screenshot in the set of all the screenshots you have as an opportunity to be filled out in the stores is the most important one, because it's the first touch point, the one the user usually sees first when going to the stores. And you can here also let creativity flow, try to work on a kind of approach where the user immediately catches up with what the gameplay will be like, what you offer, what kind of solution you bring to the table when it comes to applications, for example. Already, you know, trying to utilize those things in the first screenshot, and you can really apply whatever design or approach you want to have and to utilize. Whereas the same here, that's an example from a client's project where we not only had designers coming back with certain screenshot designs and variations of it, and we were testing it in the first place, but also we were actually testing the final design in a way that we wanted to figure out which screenshot actually goes first in the store. So we were running a split test of those 5 against each other in order to figure out which one is the most attractive, the one who produces the highest, you know, click rate when applied or shown to the user. Keywords, a major part in your app's metadata. I usually face the question, you know, how to start with it, what keywords I shall use. Also here, obviously, you sit down with your team, applying common sense in order to figure out, you know, what might be the intent a user shows when, you know, searching in the stores might have, and you know, you want it to be the one result he will find and pick at the end of the day. When you start, with assembling certain keywords, then you might add something like having a look on your website's data. If you already have a website out there, you can, figure out what are the what are the terms and keywords who drive already a significant amount of traffic to your website, applying the same approach and benchmarking that against the user behavior in the store. So you add another set of keywords to your list. Use the Google Keyword tool. It's a great tool in order to figure out, what terms actually generate a lot of search volume in the web already. And then you use this data in order to prioritize and bring down your final list of keywords. A great pool of getting inspiration is having a look on the competitors in order to figure out what are the terms they're using. Maybe picking up one or two terms they've already utilized in their App Store description. Also looking at the reviews. Users usually use natural language when writing critics or giving good positive feedback. Maybe there are one or two things in it which might be interesting to be used and utilized also for your application. Applying keywords later, as I said, you can use them in the description text, in the keyword field, obviously, the update text, developer name, in a purchase description, and so on and so forth. A major role where keywords can apply to is obviously playing when it comes to the app's title. Here's an example where the developer was changing the app's title for the worst. He faced a trademark battle by a developer from the US when he came up with saying, hey, your original app's name was named that song, was a little music trivia application. I own the rights and trademarks to it. So overnight, this developer here, around beginning of April, changed his name from name that song, really strong keywords there, into who sing it, and basically lost his business. So what I'm saying here is, in order to drive organic installs, optimize your application's metadata, you should think of intelligently extending your app's title when terms are applicable. This is an example which might go a bit too far, just assembling certain strong keywords after another in order to drive and profit from competitors' apps. But if you start thinking about extensions where you explain what the app can do, straightforward, what kind of value it provides, for whom it might be bring value to the table, then it's the right way to do it, and you can profit really in terms of the ranking position and therefore then from the install rate. I have to move on a little bit. As I mentioned before, it ranges really, and this covers a lot of things. It ranges from design-related issues like icon and screenshot design to something like the reviews and ratings, which have a positive influence or a negative influence also on your app stores. Ranking positions, social signal becomes more and more important since you can like certain apps in the Apple App Store, or you can plus the applications in the Google Play environment. So take into consideration paying a lot of attention at the end of the development phase when you're heading into launch or when running a major update. But there is much more to the metadata than just actually filling it out to be ready for release. On the other hand, App Store optimization does not sell a crappy app, that's for sure. At the moment, it's a kind of a buzzword or kind of a hype the industry is talking about. I also wanted to notify you about the shortcomings, so to speak. Since there is limited data available when it comes to search behavior, users' behavior in the stores, a lot of things and findings are built around trial and error, talking to others, exchanging data, trying to apply certain pre-post analysis in really isolated markets where you make sure, okay, at this time when I change the keywords and the screenshots, I do not get any other app reviews or I'm not running any paid promotions around my applications, to at least get an estimate what kind of impact it actually has. Also, you know, whenever you change countries, languages, that adds complexity to the whole game. Be aware of that. You need certain resources to run those kinds of analysis. And also, there are a lot of players out there trying to sell at the moment certain tools which promise you to give you a better insight of how much search volume a certain keyword might bring in Google Play Store, Apple App Store. Those are kind of attempts where they re-engineer Google search behavior from the web, add some stuff which they call maybe secret sauce, and then sell it to you as the one indicator and the promise of you know, driving a certain amount of installs from a particular keyword. You should be really careful when looking at such data, and rather try to, you know, establish this knowledge for yourself. At the end of the day, two takeaways. Put as much effort and attention towards your app's appearance in the stores as you put into the development marketing process. Plus, in terms of, you know, how often you should do this, I recommend this, you know, prior launching a game or running a major update. So it's nothing you should worry on a daily basis about, but it's kind of a homework everyone should do to get things right in the store. So if you're interested, I will be around later on for sure to ask any other questions related also to the other stuff I was just briefly showing, or just, you know, jump to my Tumblr and read a little bit into the whole world of app store optimization. Thank you very much.